I know it is hard. Fellow Malawians, I know it is hard to have to wait so long for the final results of your votes to be announced by the Malawi Electoral Commission. Harder still is the fact that in the absence of official results, some evil people have stepped into the vacuum, either to give you false information or to try to interfere with the process, tallying results in a desperate and failed attempt to subvert the clear will of Malawians. At a recent press briefing, the chairperson of the Malawi Electoral Commission, Dr. Jen Ansa, stated that initial results have started coming in and are being verified in readiness for release. Still, we as Malawi Congress Party have been tabulating results from MEC's-owned polling centers around the country, which our hard-working and tireless monitors are transmitting to our own payroll tally center, using state-of-the-art equipment and impenetrable tabulation software under the supervision of the best IT specialists to be found anywhere. Additionally, our statisticians are constantly comparing the tabulated results with the data that various media
Elections officer and your deputy, representatives of political parties and candidates, representatives of government departments, ministries and agencies, my colleagues from the press, and everyone of us in the house. I may not have mentioned you, but wherever you are, you're welcome. Again, apologies for the slight delay in the time. Sometimes elections business, there are matters that arise and you don't have control over. This evening, the Commission will be giving a 7th update regarding the voting and the transmission and the management of the results of the elections that took place yesterday. Being a God-fearing nation, I will invite Commissioner Reverend Clifford Waloi to offer a prayer. Thank you.
Shall we pray together? God, our Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for this day that you have given us, and with all the activities which have been happening here and within the country for the elections. I want to thank you, Father, that you have been faithful to us and in many ways. We continue to pray to you, Father, that you'll be with us and that peace shall continue to prevail in this country. Father, I want to pray for this session, for the briefing, that indeed whatever we're going to do in this time, it will give glory to your name. So be with us, for we ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Commissioner, for the prayer. Your Excellencies, all honorables, and all dignitaries in the House, at this juncture, I will invite the makeshift elections officer to give us a brief that will give us an overview of the presentations of today. Thank you.
The Chairperson of the Malawi Electoral Commission, Justice Dr. Jane Ansah, SC, Justice of Appeal, all commissioners of the Malawi Electoral Commission, the head of the Commonwealth Observer Mission, former President of South Africa, His Excellency Thabo Mbeki, the head of the African Union Electoral Observer Mission, the former President of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the UN Resident Coordinator, Madame Maria Jose Torres, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, heads and representatives of all observer missions present here, the representatives of all political parties and candidates, representatives from all various government ministries, departments, and agencies, all civil society organization representatives present, the members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Before I say a few words, let me introduce to you the Commission. It may be first time for some of you to come and attend to these regular briefings. So allow me to present to you the Commission before us. First, I'll present to you the members of the Secretariat in front, starting with Sangwani Mafurirwa, the Director of Media and Public Relations, the one who is leading this program. And we have Deputy CEO, Mr. Fanuel Hamsini. He is responsible for administration and finance. And on the far end, we have the Deputy CEO responsible for operations, Mr. Harris Potani. And next to Mr. Potani's Commissioner, Madam Evi Tafu. Next to Commissioner Tafu, we have Commissioner Ambassador Yahya Madi. And next to him is Commissioner Dr. Moffat Banda. And next to Dr. Banda, we have Commissioner Madam Linda Kunje. Next to Commissioner Kunje, we have Commissioner Dr. Jane Matanga. And let me come to this other side where we have Commissioner Reverend Clifford Waloi. And then we have Commissioner Bishop Mary Nkosi. And distinguished guests, let me introduce to you the chairperson of the Malawi Electoral Commission, Justice Dr. Jane Ansah, SC Justice of Appeal, chairperson. Once again, let me welcome you all to this regular briefing of our polling and results management process. Before I request the chairperson of the Malawi Electoral Commission to address us, let me say a few words. When we met this morning, we presented all the issues that were before us, and we assured you that when we meet again this evening, we should be able to present you figures and facts, as well as the complaints that have been received by the Commission, because we know this is something that everyone out there and in here are interested to hear. So the moment of truth will be unfolding, and we'll keep on informing you as it unfolds. Without wasting much of your time, let me say that this is one of the briefings that will allow the Honorable Chairperson to address us, and after the address, we'll give an opportunity to all the members of the press to ask questions for clarity. So at this point in time, let me ask the Honorable Chairperson of the Malawi Electoral Commission, Justice Dr. Jane Ansah, SC Justice of Appeal, to address us. Honorable Chairperson, please.
Thank you. My fellow commissioners, the head of the Commonwealth Observer Mission, former President of South Africa, Your Excellency Thabo Mbeki, the head of the African Union Electoral Observer Mission, the former President of Ghana, Your Excellency John Mahama, the UN Coordinator, Madam Maria Jose Torres, heads and representatives of all observer missions, Your Excellencies, ambassadors, and heads of diplomatic missions in Malawi, MEC Chief Elections Officer, Mr. Samuel Fandika, representatives of all political parties and candidates present here, representatives from various government ministries, departments, and agencies, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. The Commission met this afternoon to determine the results and also consider the complaints that have been received so far. We are not yet finished, and after this we will also continue meeting to ensure that we determine all complaints that have been recorded. The Commission will also determine and announce all results and release them to the public and address all complaints that have been received so far. As we work on the results determination, the Commission would like to make the following appeals. 1. Political leaders should refrain from inciting public pressure against the Commission to release the results without considering the due process. 2. Political leaders should refrain from making political statements that can stir unfavorable orientation of the public towards the Commission. Leaders should not utter statements that will make people live in public fear and discomfort. It is the expectation of the Commission that political leaders will avoid making statements that may be understood as implying victory. 3. The Commission clearly stated that it has provided adequate results sheet at every polling stream so that every monitor should get a copy. These are self-carbonated copies. If political party monitors encounter a presiding officer who is refusing to give them copies of the results, they should immediately report the presiding officer to the constituency returning officer or the district commissioner immediately. 4. Without infringing on media freedom and freedom of expression, the Commission wishes to advise media houses to refrain from providing platforms for utterances that can disturb public order and insolence. Broadcast media houses should use profanity-delayed technologies when hosting live programs. 5. The Commission is urging all political party and independent monitors not to give in to intimidation from any political party official, leader, or public officer. They were assigned to monitor the elections, and that they should do it to the best of how they were trained. The monitors should also report such people engaging in intimidatory behavior to the police and the district commissioner or the Malawi Electoral Commission. 6. Through its complaint handling mechanism, the Commission has so far received and recorded complaints which have been lodged through its established complaint lodging channels. Complainants who have purported to lodge complaints by phone or through other means have been advised and encouraged to lodge their complaints through the recommended guidelines and mode which is in writing. It has come to the attention of the Commission that some presiding officers and returning officers are refusing to receive complaints. The Commission would like to remind everyone that in accordance with Section 115, paragraph C of the Parliamentary and Presidential Elections Act, it is an electoral criminal offense for an officer to refuse to accept a complaint from an electoral stakeholder. 7. The Commission would like to assure all stakeholders that any particular result that is a subject of a complaint that is likely to affect the outcome will only be determined after the determination of the result. 8. I also wish to repeat what I said yesterday, that in the unlikely event that the results cannot be transmitted from the constituency tally and transmission center, the team from that center will move from the location and go to the district tally center, where the result will be transmitted to the national tally center. Monitors are free and encouraged to follow the team which consists of the CRO, external auditor, and 2 ICT officers to the district tally center. 9. As a matter of summary, the complaints received are of the following nature. 1. Name of contestant missing on the ballot. 2. Candidates allegedly continuing to campaign after the closure of the prescribed campaign period after the closure of the prescribed campaign period. 3. Arrest of party roving monitors. 4. Presiding officer accused of instructing voters to vote for a particular candidate. 5. Students who registered elsewhere being denied to vote. 6. Voters being allowed to vote at centers where they did not register. A related complaint has been a number of voters recorded to be more than the number of registered voters at the center. 7. wrong symbol appearing against a candidate's name. 8. Candidates visiting polling stations. 9. Issuing and receiving handouts. Some of the complaints have been dismissed for want of merit, and some are being investigated so that a determination should be made based on evidential finding. Results announcement at 35%. My fellow Malawians, as I said, the Commission met today to determine on the results received so far. Up till now, we have 1,436,400 cast ballots from 1,782,000 out of the 5,002 centers. This represents 35.67% of the 6,859,570 total registered voters. Out of the 1,436,400 cast ballots, 1,416,415 are valid, and 19,985 are null and void. This is how the candidates stand on presidential elections. 1. Lazarus McCarthy Chakwera, Malawi Congress Party, 533,217 votes, representing 37.65%. Dr. Saulos Klaus Chilima, UTM, 293,978 votes, representing 20.76%. Professor John Eugene Chisi, Umot Party, 5,786 votes, representing 0.41%. Reverend Hardwick Kalia, Independent, 4,308, representing 0.30%. Peter D.S.D. Kwani, Mbakwago Movement for Development, MMD, 6,113 votes, representing 0.43%. Adubele Muluzi, United Democratic Front, UDF, 48,766 votes, representing 3.44%. Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, 524,247 votes, representing 37.01%. Fellow Malawians, please be reminded of the fact that announcement of results is the responsibility solely of the Malawi Electoral Commission. No political party or candidate or any other individual can claim to have knowledge of the results before the Commission declares them, because the Commission alone is in possession of your ballot papers. The Commission alone is counting your votes and preparing results. Please have no doubt about the authority and capability of the Malawi Electoral Commission in managing and announcing the results. I would like to urge Malawian voters to please pay no attention to the claims of some political parties and candidates about knowing the results, because they do not. They will also hear it with you as and when the Commission announces them. I would like to remind all political parties candidates and their supporters that they should not overstep the Commission's authority and make incorrect or false claims of being in knowledge of the results before they are announced. The MEC has managed to deliver a violent, free, fair, and transparent election, and we are equally capable of delivering credible results. Thank you, and may God bless Malawi. Amalawa nzanga tsiku la lero masana ano takhala tikuwunikira za zotsatira za